In one of my recent videos, the phrase victim of your own success came up, but it's starting to feel like gamers are the true victims of developers' success. Quote, I have been fighting with publishers my entire life, and I keep on seeing the same mistakes over and over and over. It's always the quarterly profits. The only thing that matters is the numbers. To tell you the absolute truth, these developers have only themselves to blame for bloating these companies wildly out of proportion. It's just unfortunate that us gamers are the ones suffering the actual consequences. Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to the Hard Light Network. So, over the last couple of decades, major developers have grown even larger, have acquired more resources in order to develop games, and advanced technology to create the most cutting-edge titles. However, it seems like the industry as a whole is on a downward spiral. But how could this possibly be the case? In one of my recent videos, the phrase victim of your own success came up, but it's starting to feel like gamers are the true victims of developers' success. While there are a few notable exceptions to the rule, it seems like developers these days are no longer interested in taking risks, innovating, or telling engaging stories. Their games have become more like Hollywood movies, recycling the same mechanics and tropes while only changing the character designs and settings slightly to avoid copyright issues. It's genuinely starting to feel like if developers could simply copy and paste each other's work and get away with it, that they would. Is there a single underlying issue that's contributing to the state of the games industry as it is today? And to what degree are gamers responsible? We're going to get into that here shortly, but first I have to ask you guys to hit that like button if you like this video, subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content that I've got coming up for you guys in the future, and also take to the comments section down below with what you guys think on this issue. Also, if you want to support this channel further, there are memberships and super thanks options down below. Feel free to join the channel for access to exclusive content and perks that you can't get anywhere else. But without any further ado, let's get into today's article. Today's reading comes to us from PC Gamer and is entitled, Sniper Elite CEO Reckons Sven Vinke is Right to Snarl at Short-Sighted Publishers. You could argue that their business at a senior level isn't making games. Their business is managing their shareholders' perceptions. It's a grim time in the games industry, as layoffs and closures continue to decimate studio after studio. It's an enraging thing. So enraging that none other than Larian CEO Sven Vinke took to the Game Awards stage last December to call out, well, everyone. Quote, I have been fighting with publishers my entire life, and I keep on seeing the same mistakes over and over and over. It's always the quarterly profits. The only thing that matters is the numbers. It's not just Vinke that's been having that fight. When I sat down for a chat with Rebellion CEO Jason Kingsley last week, he said the story was, quote, very much familiar to him too. It cuts across every industry, said Kingsley, but I am aware that a lot of my colleagues get frustrated from time to time by people who are potentially very good managers but aren't specialists in the computer games area. Quote, there are horror stories of people having external producers saying, look, you just need to make fewer bugs because then it'll be faster to make. And everybody's going, yeah, you're right. Yeah. We really shouldn't have put 1,500 bugs in. Fortunately for Kingsley and Co., Rebellion is, quote, isolated from it to a certain extent, because it self-funds, and does the heavy lifting of QA, design, and marketing by itself. But he agrees with Vinke's point anyway, saying, quote, all creative industries, films, TV, are to a certain extent impacted negatively by people that want quick results. Rebellion's also isolated from the issue of short-term, shareholder-oriented thinking by the fact that it's a private company without a board of investors to cater to. Quote, in some ways, some of these big companies, you could argue, and this is probably slightly controversial, but you could argue that their business at a senior level isn't making games. Their business is managing their shareholders' perceptions so that their shares go up. And so making games is sort of a secondary consequence.
Crunch the numbers and send them to me.
Sounds important.
This could be good.
It's gonna
Figure
be
out
big.
the tax reform numbers, crunch them, flip them over, and send them to me.
Crunch the numbers and send them to me.
You guys want one?
I am the head of tax reform and percentages. I need those on my desk.
Kingsley's comments read to me as yet another cry against enshittification, that process by which digital products and services cease answering to the demands of their customers and start answering to the whims of their shareholders, implementing user-hostile features and policies that are good for a quick stock market sugar rush, but that end up driving away business in the long term. It's become a widespread target of user ire as once useful services get buried beneath an avalanche of questionably useful AI features that please shareholders, or as our favorite studios get cut to the bone when they don't meet astronomical sales targets. Kingsley doesn't put all the blame on villainous shareholders. Quote, I think possibly the games industry expanded a bit too fast during COVID. You know, we really had good times, and everybody was locked in and was playing computer games, and the correction came. Yeah, and that correction has been very rapid and sudden, and you know, bloody awful, quite frankly. You know, there's something uniquely dystopian about hearing a CEO refer to the COVID lockdowns as really good times, while also decrying return to regular life as bloody awful. To tell you the absolute truth, these developers have only themselves to blame for bloating these companies wildly out of proportion. It's just unfortunate that us gamers are the ones suffering the actual consequences. However, it seems inevitable that once these companies hit a certain critical mass, that they're eventually going to shift their priorities from developing good and interesting products to maintaining their profitability. But I'm also not a multimillionaire CEO who had the luxury of a tech job during the lockdowns either. So what do I know? Look, I'm neither interested in nor qualified to talk about how the investment-driven economy is slowly ruining everyone's quality of life. But I will say that if maybe, just maybe, enough of us take some notes from Tim Kaine and stop patronizing these massive, bloated, and greedy companies, maybe the industry will start to change for the better. And look, I'm not trying to say that gaming should fall completely outside of mainstream entertainment. But there has to be a happy, sustainable middle ground between overproduced, seasonal cash grab garbage and hyper-niche autistic hobby. Maybe gaming is fated to become just like Hollywood, enjoyed by many, but only truly appreciated by the few. And I don't mean to sound like some sort of condescending, elitist art snob when I say that. It's just hard to impress on people who didn't experience it firsthand just how good gaming used to be. And sometimes it feels even more difficult trying to convince the average gamer that it could be even better than it is now. Thankfully, there still are some diamonds in the rough, and there are some genuinely good actors in the gaming industry that want to create new and exciting concepts without cannibalizing past success. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who has stuck around up to this point. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos all the way through. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content that I've got coming up for you guys in the future. Also, please do take to the comment section down below with your thoughts on this issue. I don't want you guys to take this video the wrong way. There's really nothing to be blackpilled about when it comes to the games industry. Yes, of course, we live in a time where there's more trash than ever before, but we also live in a time where there's more resources available to regular average gamers to try their hand at creating their own unique and memorable experiences. The takeaway from this video shouldn't be that it's over for gaming. The takeaway should be that if we care about this medium and we want to see it succeed, we should learn from this period of gaming history and try to do better in the future, not only as consumers, but also as potential developers. But of course, the grind never ends. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like, and until next time, love you guys, safe travels.